Mr. Reno, Dr. McFadden,
Here.
Mr. Monk,
Here.
Ms. O'Neill, Mr. Rickman,
Here.
Mrs. Walker.
A quorum has been established. Next on the agenda, the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next on the agenda are citizens' comments. This is the portion of the meeting where you, citizens of the Mount Clemens Community School District, can address the board with any of your questions, comments, or concerns. I ask that you come to the microphone, state your name and address. Be mindful that you have 3 minutes by which to make your inquiry. Also, you may not receive a response to your particular inquiry this evening. Last but not least, I ask that you address all questions, comments, and concerns to the chair. The agenda is now open for citizens' comments.
My name is Mary Campbell. I'm a teacher at King Academy, and this is my 33rd year in Mount Clemens. I've stood before you many times and spoke on teachers' behalfs, but today I'm speaking on behalf of my class, and in my opinion, it may be the most important 3 minutes I've ever spent with you. Today I'm here to express my concerns about the beginning of the school year and how things have handled. And those of you who know me know I have not stood here this upset. That should give you a hint about what's coming. Today, the weeds in the playground, today, 3 weeks into the school year, I was finally told who my building administrator is. I have seen Miss Beals once and Miss Clybert once. Today, the weeds in the playground were weed whacked so that it would be safe for my children to play in. Today was day number 3 of having a live trap in the hallway in the foyer to catch the raccoon that is living in our building and has been there, from what I understand, all summer long. Most importantly, today was another day without a paraprofessional in my classroom. It was yet another day where I was concerned. I'm going to sit down and talk to you. So, it was another day where I was concerned about the safety of my children. For those of you who don't know, I teach the youngest children in our school district. I teach children who maybe have speech delay, may be nonverbal, may have autism, may have a behavior program or issues, some who may like to elope, and all of them need to feel safe in my classroom. Today was a day that I cried. It wasn't the first time today. When Ms. Lutz, a district school worker, social worker, came into my room to do an observation. I cried because I knew she would help me and help me keep my students safe. My students mean everything to me. I feel completely responsible for them in my classroom. The first week of school, I had someone who substituted as a para because we thought she was a building sub. Last week, I made the decision to pull the one ECSE para that we have from next door because they had an extra adult in the room. But that was really a decision an administrator should have made and not an ECSE teacher. This past Monday, thankfully, Mrs. DeSico stayed and was able to do therapy with the children on her caseload as well as help me. Yesterday and today, we did not have the support that we need in our classroom. State law, Section R 340.1754, Section F states that an ECSE classroom shall have not more than 12 students for 1 teacher and 1 aide at any time. That is not a ratio given. The other para from the other ECSE classroom did come the last 2 days and help with diapering and bathrooming the students on both those days, because that is an additional aspect of ECSE that many people don't even think about. Emails from administration saying that they are aware that I have a para, that they are meeting and discussing it among themselves, and that they are reaching out and personally making phone calls is not comforting at this point. I don't have the support these children need. I know that we have a shortage of staff. I know how difficult it is to find someone to step into our classrooms, but I need someone in the room with me. If you stepped into my room for 10 minutes, you would see that. I mentioned my eloper earlier. For those of you who aren't familiar with that term, it is someone who's used to describe the child who leaves your room usually running. What should I do when that happens and I'm alone? Do I leave the other children in my room unattended? Do I chase after the child who leaves? How do you pick? What if it was your child or your grandchild in the hall or in the classroom? If my own children or your grandchildren were in the classroom with this little support, it is not something that you or I would tolerate, and we shouldn't expect our families to do so.
Thank you for your comment. The agenda is still open for citizens' comment. still open for citizens' comment. Last call, citizens' comments. Hearing and seeing none, moving the agenda forward. Next on the agenda, item 5, action item, consent agenda. 5A, approval of minutes. A1, August 17th, 2022, regular meeting. A2, September 15th, 2022, committee of the whole workshop. 5B, approval of bills for payment. 5C, new hires. 1, administrators. A, secondary complex principal. B, director of finance. 5C, 2, Seminole Academy. 2A, 4th grade teacher. B, behaviorist, behavior. C, 3rd grade teacher. D, 2nd grade teacher. E, physical education teacher. Item 5C, 3, secondary complex. 3A, middle school social studies teacher. B, high school science teacher. C, high school LEA teacher. D, middle school science teacher. E, secondary physical education teacher. F, dance teacher. Those are under the consent agenda this evening. Yes?
No, you forgot one. Four business.
Oh, sorry, excuse me. 4. 5C, 4, business office. A, payroll/grants accountant.
Mr. President, I move to approve the consent agenda item A, item B, and item C for discussion.
Well, do you want to pull? You
I
have
wanna
to
pull C.
Okay.
Pull C and approve A and B.
Okay, it's been moved by Dr. McFadden to pull off item C and to approve items A and B of the consent agenda.
Support.
Second to approve consent agenda items A, 1, and 2, B, bills for payment. That is the motion on the floor. Any questions? Call the roll, please.
Dr. McFadden?
Yes.
Mr. Monk?
Yes.
Ms. Collins?
Yes.
Mr. Rickman?
Yes, motion carried. Item C, Dr. McFadden.
New hires. Just lighter information. Madam Superintendent, is there anything to discuss about the new hires, or just want to just move straight for approval? Because I know some of these might be contractual. Do we need to discuss those or no?
No, all of these are new hires for our district, so none of them are contractors.
Okay. That's the only question I have, unless anybody else has something.
Where did this put us as far as open positions?
Right now, we have a kindergarten position open and a 4th grade.
Kindergarten and 4th grade?
Yes.
Okay.
And that's just the teaching staff, and how does that put us with the support staff?
We are looking at paras. Mr. Lavender, do you have an update on paras, the need?
Well, that's well.
Oh, no.
Okay.
Okay.
That doesn't have anything to do with the motion on the floor.
Oh, okay.
Just the numbers. We're good, or they're still working that piece? Okay. And you said none of these are contractual, even the principal, that's not a contract we gotta approve, right?
I'm sorry,
We don't
what?
have to approve the principal contract?
Yes,
Okay. And director of finance?
correct.
Okay.
Any additional questions, comments? I know we talked about a lot of this last Thursday at the workshop. And it seems like I think last Thursday we were down 3 staff. I think what, kindergarten, and an art teacher or something, was it?
Yes, so we hired an art teacher and we hired a counselor.
Okay. All right. No, any additional questions on the 5IC new hires?
Mr. President, I move to approve item 5C, new hires 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Moved by Dr. McFadden to approve item 5C, new hires 1, 2, 3, and 4. Is there a second?
Support.
Second, Ms. Collins. Any questions, discussion? Hearing or seeing none, call roll, please.
Dr. McFadden?
Yes.
Ms. Cowles?
Yes.
Mr. Monk?
Yes.
Mr. Rick?
Yes, motion carries. Item 6. Board business. A, approval of board member to attend MASB Annual Leadership Conference. It's been requested by board members to attend the Michigan Association of School Boards Annual Conference. It's hosted in Traverse City. Per our board policy, we do allow travel for board development, and this type of things that happen during the conference. Also via board policy and the state code, we have to approve the expenditure of board members going, being in attendance to attend conferences. And then when they come back, we approve their expenses or any reimbursements. So the chair would entertain a motion to approve board members to attend the Michigan Association of School Boards Annual Leadership Conference.
So moved.
Moved by Member Monk.
Support.
Second, Member Collins. Any questions, comments, concerns on the motion on the floor?
Just one comment. I'm looking forward to it. I know Dr. McFadden is looking forward to it. I mean, I really enjoy these, especially this conference, because, I mean, you really get a chance to just kind of, you know, get up there, talk amongst your peers, see what's going on around the states, and a lot of times you find out there's other districts that kind of going through the same thing you're going through, and they may be doing something a little different, you know, kind of pick some people's brains a little bit, brainstorm, but it's always a good time to, and also, you know, just to kind of refresh, and, you know, this is also opportunity to take classes also, so I know I'm taking classes every day while I'm up there to just improve myself in order for me to be a better board member. So that's just my comments.
Yeah, I've always been an advocate of board training and participating in workshops, CBA classes, because you run a campaign, you get elected, you don't know what this job is all about. You have a perception or idea when you're out on that side of the table, but realistically, and then you become a board of a multi-million-dollar entity. And so I've always said I would rather spend money to get board members trained as opposed to spending millions of dollars in lawsuits for board members making stupid decisions because they don't know what their roles are. So I'm an advocate of sending board members to training, and anytime there are training opportunities, if colleagues on this board would like to participate, I will always support that. Call roll, please.
Mr. Monk?
Yes.
Ms. Cowles?
Yes.
Dr. McFadden?
Yes.
Mr. Rickman?
Yes, motion carries. Informational items, item 7, Business Committee. Are there any questions on the financial reports, or is there any updates or anything from the on the financial business side?
Just real quick, you've been asked a couple times, and it's taken me a while, I apologize for that, but you have the contract report now that we will update now as contracts change. The only other thing is you have the finance report in front of you. This is the first time we brought anything for this current fiscal year because much of the expenses in July and August are accrued back to the past fiscal year. So this is actually through today's date. I would only point you, it's where it should be with one exception. If you look at community services, you can see that it's at this point over budget. You approved a couple of agreements of last meeting that is the reason that is over budget. You should be aware of what those are. So other than that, the report is what it should be.
So Bill,
Go ahead.
so Bill, you said as of right now, we're kind of where we should be as far as budget-wise.
Yes.
Okay.
Knowing, I mean, we're still waiting to see where enrollment's gonna come in.
Right.
That will be a big one.
Right.
But, you know, based on, we're spending money the way we would, given the time of year it is.
Okay.
The unknown side right now is the revenue side.
Right.
And obviously, we have some positions not filled, so those are gonna be a little bit less expenses, but in the grand scheme of things, 18 or 15 million, it's not a large portion of it, so.
And when will we see the audit report brought to
Their
us?
field work is still going on now.
Okay.
It takes them about 30 to 40 days after they finish field work to bring a report. We have to have it done by the end of October.
Right, in October. Okay.
Any additional questions?
On the revenue piece here, we have local, state, federal, and other. Other includes,
Mostly stuff from the ISD. You know, we get IDEA special ed revenue, we share in some, the special ed tax, Act 18 revenues, a lot of that. And that number also includes the money we would get from POHI that we're not gonna get anymore, so that will be a big adjustment that happens with the first budget revision in November-ish.
Ms. Collins asked a question a few meetings back about a pot of money that sits earmarked for certain things. Where would that fit at on this list?
It's not on here. That money we're talking about comes in two pots. One is what's called a trust, well, an agency account. Those are really student activity accounts. I'd given the board back a few weeks ago, I believe, a list of all of those by like class of 2022 and the football and the volleyball and the POHI program and all of those. And then the other one is scholarship money that's a trust. The money's been put here, and that's a large portion. I have been working with our attorneys on how what we actually do with that money. I did just work over the last week or so with, so first of all, the district doesn't have a lot of records as to what that money came to us for and what it was to be used for. So I've had our tech director scan all old emails and files, trying to just sort by those names of those scholarship funds. And I have not had a chance to look at those, but the first thing we have to do, according to the attorneys, is do our due diligence to see if we can contact the families where the money originally came from to find out, tell them the status and what they prefer to be done with the money. And then if they say leave it with the district, then we're talking, what's an option is obviously we could continue to try to manage it, but we haven't done much with it the past few years. One legal option, once we've done our due diligence, is we can gift it to a foundation, a community foundation, for the sole purpose of them managing a scholarship fund that the school district then could be involved in setting the criteria for how the money is distributed on an annual basis, whether that's a endowment where the money stays there and they only give out the interest, or whether it's a thing where the principal that's sitting there is also used to give scholarships. It's going to take a lot of work, it's going to take a lot of time. It's not something we're going to get to resolve in the next 30 or 60 days, because it's going to take some work, but that's what we have to do according to the attorneys.
I suggest that you contact Attorney John MacArthur, because I'm pretty sure that there's probably a MacArthur Foundation.
That is one of them.
And he would know about it because that's his family, and there's probably the Roscott Foundation, the Nunley Foundation. I could go on and on, but I would strongly suggest contacting him.
Okay.
He could
Local
give you some-
attorney?
Yes, we used him
Okay.
with the
All
Carnes
right.
Center
Yep.
thing.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Anything I can do to track down anybody who knows anything about it's great.
I have a question regarding that fund. So I brought up in the past the revision in the state law requiring how student activities are reported on our budget. Can you pull that law together and break that down? Because that will certainly change the 30 or 60 or 90 days. If we have to report this on our budget, we need to figure that out.
Well, what it has to be done is, well, there's two parts to it. This part that we're talking about, the scholarship piece, has to be reported one place. The part that you're thinking about is the student activity funds, and you have to adopt a budget that includes how much money you think you're gonna bring in and how much you're gonna pay out in those. We've done that for this year, and it will be included in the audit report. But it's not, it is on our financial books right now, but it's not truly in this budget, the general fund budget, or it's just its own standalone. We have this much money in the bank, and we have this, we are holding on to it for these groups. Same thing, we have this much money in the bank, and here are the scholarship funds that are tied to that money. So We are meeting the requirements of it already, and it's not, they call it a budget, but really all you do is you adopted it when we went through the budget process in June.
And you've looked into that revision on the state law that's required for this year?
We work with the auditors. All of those are GASB rules that we have to follow, so we work with the auditors. Every time a GASB changes like that, we work with the auditors to make sure we're in compliance.
Any additional questions?
Yeah, under under the other revenues, is there, where do we account for the, like renting out Washington School? Was that, did that fall under the other here also?
No, that would be local revenue.
Be local?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And facility usage, that'll be under local too?
Correct.
All right.
Bill, how are we looking as far as, food service, that budget-wise? Are we pretty much in line?
We had a year last year where we finished without having to contribute from the general fund, so
Right.
that's a step in the right direction.
Right, yeah.
We expect the same thing this year.
Okay.
Reimbursement rates are up.
Okay.
You know, it's a small, an amount bigger than usual.
Right.
And because we're, 100% fully free,
Gotcha.
that helps.
Right.
Yeah, so.
Okay.
Any additional questions? Thank you, sir.
Welcome.
Item 8, superintendent's comments. Over here, turn the camera this way.
He's new.
I know, we know.
Doing a great job.
Good evening, everyone. This is our first meeting since we've come back to school, and a lot has happened. We had an interesting beginning of the school year. We've got kids in classrooms. We're doing some adjusting in terms of numbers, so we're all working really, really, really hard. I'd like to thank David Lavender and Dia Bethel and Tina McNeely for all those three have done to make the school year as smooth as it can be. Mrs. McNeely actually learned how to create schedules and schedule the entire secondary campus, I think on her second or third day here. So everyone's just been working really hard, and I'm proud of all of us. I'd like to start by this is a big list to thank all of the people that participated and helped with the Back to School Bash. First of all, I'd like to just start out with some of the people that, actually one of them is right here in this room. Actually, two of them are here in this room, sorry. So I'd like to begin by thanking Shirley and Jason Monk. They were amazing in all the work that they did in the setup and getting all of the backpacks and just really helping us organize all of it. Paul and Jenny Shepard. Paul, we couldn't have done this without you and Jennifer. There is no way. Jennifer was everywhere, and so were you, organizing all of it. It was amazing. The other person I'm just going to mention by name is Rachel Joseph. Rachel Joseph was instrumental in getting some of the different people and vendors here. And without her, we might not have had that support. So I'm going to read a list of the people that have helped because I think it's important that they're mentioned at our board meeting, and in addition, they will all be receiving a thank you letter from us. In alphabetical order: the Anton Art Center, Artist Music, Buffalo Wild Wings, Mount Clemens, Clementine's Pastries, Consumers Energy, Dairy Queen on Gratiot, Deep Cuts Barbershop, DHHS, Doug Jones, the Discovery Center, Healthy Michigan Collaborative, Divergent, which is our transportation, EduStaff, the Engine House, Family Youth Interventions, First State Bank, Goodfellows, Gumbos, Gus's Coney Island in Mount Clemens, Henry Ford, Happy's Pizza in Mount Clemens, Jennifer Shepard for getting the raffle tickets and prizes for the community, Winia and Martin Guerrero, Kensington Church. What was it?
Querio.
Querio, thank you. Kensington Church, Lauren E. Brosh, Consumers Energy. Little Caesars on Groesbeck. Macomb Community Action. Macomb County Health Department. Macomb County Sheriff. Mount Clemens Grill. Mount Clemens Public Library. My Deal Graphics. New Way Works, Shane Giannino. New Anthem Church. Optimist Club, Mount Clemens. Paul Mitchell Academy. Pop Sweets and Treats. Ruthie Stevenson. Sarah Scott, who's our consultant from Swift. Shirley Monk. Starbucks on Groesbeck. The United States Air Force. The Worship Center. And the YMCA. I just read off 43 community members and businesses in the city of Mount Clemens that helped us with our fabulous Back to School Bash. We can't do this without a community, and our school district runs because of that. So I just want to thank all of you for all of your help. Again, I'd like to welcome back our students and our teachers. We're happy that you're here and beginning or either beginning as a new kindergarten student or continuing your learning career here. Homecoming is coming up soon. You can see the hallways are starting to get decorated. This is the senior hallway out here. And so they're painting the halls black or papering the halls black. The homecoming game is October 7th, and our homecoming dance is October 8th right here. So, and that's my comments.
Madam Superintendent, would you have a preliminary numbers of how many students that we have throughout the district?
Mr. Rickman, I do not have the numbers today. We're still in the process of removing kids, adding kids, and dropping students, but I will have numbers for you by Friday.
When was the last time you had a number that you just,
Well, the last number
I know
I
you're
had-
massaging it, but just
I
the number
do.
that
So
you're massaging out.
the last number I had was 850, but those did not include the drops or the ads, so it's not.
It's still moving
It's
target.
still moving, and
Okay.
it's not going to be that high.
Okay. Thank you. Any additional questions of the superintendent? Item 9, committee reports. Any additional information coming out of the Business and Finance Committee? Mr. Lindenberg? No report on either. Thank you, sir. Mr. Monk? Policy.
We had our two major policies come in throughout the year. One usually is in October, the other one's in February. We've had the one preliminary come out already. We put a call into our Neola representative. We're going to be having a policy meeting next month to go over that, so we'll have new updated policies that are be presented at our October board meeting.
Thank you. Any questions of the chair? I have no legislative report. I don't even know if we'll have one next month because November is, election time. So
Right.
I'm pretty sure there'll be one in December for sure. Board comments. I'll start with Mrs. Collins.
Welcome back to all the kids back to school this year and all the teachers. I am excited about this school year.
Yes.
In light of some of the comments tonight, I would like the Finance Committee to discuss the Marino's landscaping contract, because this is the second issue with the playground that we've had this year. I think if they're not doing their job, we need to discuss it. I did go over to King and take a look at the condition of that playground, so I'd like to discuss that within our meetings outside of tonight. But other than that, I'm sorry that things didn't start out this year for some, but I do think we're really heading down the right track, and I am excited about the school year.
Thank you, Ms. Collins. Mr. Monk.
Thank you, Mr. President. Again, I would like to piggyback off of my colleagues' comments. Welcome back to all the students and also the teachers. Welcome back, everybody. Hope you had a wonderful summer. I did. I played a lot of golf. And I just wanted to put out some thank yous. Just tell a quick story. I love being part of the Back to School Bash, and I was over there sitting with the Goodfellas. Goodfellas was on the right side of me, and they had a ton of balls and just footballs, and then they didn't know that they glue up in the dark until one of them dropped it, and the ball dropped and it lit up. Kids saw that, and you just seen a whole shift, just like woo. And they was like, well, we don't give all the balls away, you know. Would you guys just take them and give them out throughout the year? We're like, yeah, sure, yeah, we'll take them. No, not a ball, football, basketball, nothing was left over. They took them all, which is great. But they was excited, you know, talking to, I actually did business with the Goodfellas years ago. I used to make their varsity jackets. So I was talking with some of them about, you know, back then, but, you know, that's just a testament to, we have a lot of great community partners. And I agree with you, Madam Superintendent, in this community. And that's what makes Mount Clemens Mount Clemens. That's what makes the Clem the Clem. So, Paul, thank you. I don't think you get thanked enough. I know I'm always in your ear all the time, so thank you for just, you know, doing what you do and, you know, every day and getting everything out for us, and definitely appreciate you. Definitely appreciate you. On the homecoming game, Mr. President, I am putting my hat in to be part of the chain gang. So I will work the sidelines if I am needed at the homecoming game. I just want to say a special thank you to My Deal Graphics. The owner of My Deal Graphics, his name is Steve Salerno. He went into business about 3 years before I started my business. He was doing the silk screen side of it, I was doing the embroidery side of it. And instead of both of us kind of buying silk screen, he buying embroidery, we kind of just partnered up. I would do his embroidery, he'll do my silk screen. But I want to thank him because when I was in his shop, I saw these like boxes. You know, I was like, whoa, you know, where all these boxes, shirts come from? So talking with him, talking with his business manager, what was the number, Paul? They wound up donating to the district how many shirts?
I think it's in the 500s.
Yeah. So he wound up donating about 500 shirts to the district. So I want to give a special thank you to Steve Salerno of My Deal Graphics for stepping up to the plate. And this is somebody, he's in St. Clair Shores. He's not even in Mount Clemens. He's in St. Clair Shores. I definitely want to give a shout out to Steve and say thank you. And I'm looking forward to
I'm sorry, it's 1,800.
1,800. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. I stand corrected. He donated 1,800 shirts to this district. I don't think in the years I've been involved in this district I've heard of a t-shirt donation of that magnitude. So that's great, Steve. Thank you. And hopefully we reach out to him. And I know I will. He's Italian, so he went back over to Italy. So he's in Italy right now for the next 2 weeks. So he'll be back. Those are my comments.
Thank you, Mr. Moore. Dr. McFadden.
Wow. Well, first of all, it's good to be back. You know, we start another year, some bumps. Sound like we got a few bumps going on, a few things going on we need to fix. What we need to start working on is we need to get better at who we are. We need to work on our strengths and bypass our weaknesses. So we're a small district, so our communication should be impeccable. There's no reason why nobody in the whole district don't know what the heck's going on. Students, parents, or whoever. If we have to do a phone bank and call parents on a weekly basis, I don't see why that's a problem. Preliminary numbers are not that high. And that doesn't mean that we don't have to service who we got. But bottom line is, that means that we should be very, very good at who we working with, because it's not that many kids. So our teacher and student ratio should be amazing. So I know everybody talk about the services that we don't offer, but we need to get good at the services we do offer. And I say that because we already little bumps going on right now. We got kids and teachers and everybody upset. But we can fix that, because I know we got the good team. We got somebody at the wheel that can turn this thing right. And she got her team. So my comments is, I'm glad the school district's on this path. I know in June, it's gonna look really good. But we gotta just stay with the course. But we gotta get better at what we got. We're not exploiting our strengths. We're small. So that shouldn't be that hard to do. We gotta be good at what we are. Those are my comments, Mr. President.
Thank you, Dr. McFadden. Before I go in my comments, I want to talk about the board retreat. And probably tonight is probably not the best time to try to establish a date. I know from communication that I've gotten back from my board colleagues that September 15th is not good. We've got board members out of town. October 15th, and then October the 20th or 21st is not good because we got board members out of town. I would like to have everybody. If for some reason, medical, family commitments or something that we can't have everybody, that's one thing, but I think we, based on just what I've heard from my colleagues, that we probably need to start looking at an early November to try to pull off a retreat. Hopefully it can be before the November board meeting. So just put that on your minds to start looking at some dates. We would like, more than likely, want it to be a Saturday, because I think 5 or 6 hours on a Saturday, because this is just one meeting session out of many that we should have before the end of this calendar year, because it will put us in position of the things we should be doing in 2020, and start us to put us in the position on the direction we should be going in 2023. So colleagues, just start looking at your calendars, and so we can see if we can get this work started. I was thoroughly disappointed that I could not see the new staff at the beginning of the year because nobody could see. We had no power. So we had to postpone. I told the superintendent that I did the Abraham Lincoln thing. I was up by candlelight, trying to pull together my remarks and make them come up in a cohesive manner. And writing in the dark, you get kind of creative, so. But I would have enjoyed welcoming the staff back and welcoming our veteran teachers, and especially giving a warm welcome to our new staff. I tried to do a percentage thing, and I came up with my best guess that we have about between 45 and 48% of our staff are new to the district. Maybe they're not, they're new in teaching profession, they're new to the state, or they're new to our district. So that means about 55% of the staff are veteran teachers. And it is my hopes that that blend can come together as a cohesive team to provide the best quality free public education for the students that sit in the classroom of the Mount Clemens Community School District, because we are a team. And there are new teachers to our district that aren't familiar with the culture, the climate, and I would hope that the veteran teachers, the seasoned teachers that are here, will be that mentor to sort of guide them around and give them some words of encouragement and some tips on being a professional teacher and being successful in the school district. So I was disappointed I didn't get to get up and do my thing, but I welcome even though many of them probably won't see this broadcast. But I welcome back our veteran teachers, and I welcome, special welcome to our new teachers. Welcome to the Clem family. We all support each other, and we're all here in the general interest of what's best for the students that sit in our classrooms. I'd like to say thank you to our community partners, the long list that Superintendent read off, volunteers, because I, for one, know that we've never been able to provide all of the things that we could provide for students if it had not been for community partners and also people that volunteer their time, whatever various area that they volunteer their time is. That we're able to do more things because of their generosity of giving and their spirit of volunteering to assist us here in the Mount Clemens Community School District. To those people, I say thank you. To my colleague, Jason Monk, I can remember 5, 6 years ago, I talked to him and I said I wanted him to chair the policy committee. He was very reticent, very apprehensive, but he took it. The first year was a learning year for him, and I asked him would he serve again, and he took it to another level, and has been that way. This last year he was kind of hesitant to take it, but finally convinced him that if he would serve in the capacity of the chair, and he agreed to do so. I say all that because when he started it, he really wasn't excited about doing it. But when you hear him talk about policy, I hear the enthusiasm about it. Other people have seen that, and to that end, I understand that my colleague Jason Monk has been invited to serve on a panel dealing with policy. Neola has asked him to serve on a panel at the MASB conference in October. In October. So congratulations, sir.
Thank
See,
you,
I wasn't giving you nothing that you couldn't handle. I wasn't asking
That was the setup,
nothing you
right?
couldn't handle.
I appreciate it. Thanks.
To the staff, students, welcome back. Hey, we're here. We're moving forward. To the Battling Bathers, we started out slow, but we're on a 3-game winning streak. So congratulations to the football team. I have not got any update on the girls volleyball, but I understand they probably played 1 or 2 games now. And here we have a full complement of athletes or participants. We're glad to see that. And so to those students, athletes, they're 2-1, 1-2. The girls. 2-0. The girls volleyball team is 2-0. So congratulations to the girls volleyball team. But remember, it's a team sport, and you are a student athlete. You don't take care of the student part first. There is no athletic part, and you mess up the team. So student athlete, take that student part of it seriously and help the team by remaining eligible to participate. Thank you. Is there anything else? What happens when you don't write stuff down? Talk about the retreat. Okay. All right. Those are my comments. The chair would entertain a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Moved by Member Monk.
Support.
Second, Member Collins. It is not debatable. Call the roll.
Ms. Clemens?
Yes.
Ms. Collins?
Yes.
Dr. McKenna?
Yes.
Mr. Ritter?
Yes. Motion carried. Meeting's adjourned at 7:25. On that clock, it's 7:21. Officially. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.